It is Sunday, May 10, 2020. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome to LCJ Live. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Hope you and your moms and your loved ones are going to have a really nice day. If you get a chance, check out my video. I read the book, Good Grief, It's Mother's Day for Save with Stories. Check it out. It's on Twitter. It's on YouTube as well, youtube.com/lightscamerajackson. Good Grief, It's Mother's Day. Gather the kids, gather the moms, gather the family, and check that out. Good Grief, It's Mother's Day. Hope you're doing well. Coming up, I watched Schindler's List for the very first time last night. I will tell you my thoughts on Schindler's List. If you are a classic movie fan, you're going to want to hear my thoughts on Schindler's List coming up. I want to tell you about Scoob. Scoob is on VOD and digital platforms and available for a lot of people this week. It is the new animated Scooby-Doo movie that Warner Brothers was supposed to release in theaters this Friday, May 15th, but instead they pulled it a couple months ago, and then they decided, I think very wisely, to put it on VOD for families to watch this coming weekend. It's out Friday, May 15th. It's $19.99, I think, over TV, $24.99 on some digital outlets. But when you think about it, when you look at the money that you could have spent, a family of 5 who would go to see Scoob in the theaters, possibly even in 3D. When you look at that, adults are $13, kids are maybe $9. It may be more than that. The money adds up quickly. So even spending $25 if you've got a family of 5 or 6, it's going to save you a lot. And especially with concessions would have tacked on, more money if you went to see Scoob in the theaters. So Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they're back. Frank Welker once again voices Scooby-Doo. Different voice cast than what you've heard for the animated series and some of the other specials and things over the years for this movie. But you got Zac Efron, Will Forte, Amanda Seyfried, and then some other characters, some other Hanna-Barbera characters come into play in the Scooby-Doo movie, and they're trying to kind of start up the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe almost with Scoob. So hope to have some Scooby swag. Supposedly I'm getting some Scooby swag this week, and hopefully get to see the movie very soon and maybe talk to some people involved with it as well. Scoob, it is going to be big. It'll be interesting to see if it's quite as big as the success of Trolls World Tour, because Trolls World Tour was the first major animated movie to decide to go directly to video on demand and digital platforms, skipping theaters, because there are not many theaters open right now. DreamWorks and Universal deciding to do that, and in doing that, so many families have watched it. It's made tens of millions of dollars, maybe even more than $100 million on VOD grosses. Which is fantastic. So now we get Scoob. We'll see if it's quite as successful. Being the number 2 sometimes, could you be in the shadow of the first one? But I think the popularity of Scooby-Doo, the voice cast, and the positive energy and vibes that the trailers for this movie give, I think families will watch it either this coming weekend, maybe next weekend over Memorial Day weekend, things like that, the next weekend. I think Scoob will do well for Warner Brothers. What do you think of the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, says DJ Rachopo. Happy Mother's Day to everybody if you're just watching LCJ Live. Coming up, my thoughts on Schindler's List, which I watched for the very first time last night. My thoughts on the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. My pal Matthew Lillard's in them. And it's funny, I watched the first Scooby-Doo, or parts of it, when I was young. I've seen some of it in years since. I remember going to my library to watch Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, randomly when I was younger. Because I think Rowan Atkinson's in that one. He's either in that one or the first one. It's been a long time. But I watched the one with Rowan Atkinson at my library when I was 5 or 6. And, I enjoyed it. But I think, knowing Matthew Lillard and that relationship and having him be a part of these. And, look, the CG work, even at that time, 2002, 2003, 2004. Even the CG work on the Scooby-Doo character, a lot of people give it flack or all that. That's a lot to do. 18, 19 years ago, obviously the technology is better now if they were to do a live-action CGI Scooby-Doo movie. But, the technology is even better to create that character. But for what they were able to do back then, fine, perfectly fine. And if you watch some of those clips nowadays online, it's harmless, fun stuff. It's like the Cat in the Hat Mike Myers, which is one of my guilty pleasures. Fun. Just positive, wacky, fun, and the makeup on him, my gosh. So yeah, Scoob out this week. I think it's cool with a full CG movie. We'll see how this does. We'll see how it is. I hope it is fun. All right, let's get to it here on this Mother's Day episode of LCJ Live. Hope you and your loved ones are doing well. I watched Schindler's List for the first time last night. You're probably saying to yourself, LCJ, whoa, how have you never seen Schindler's List before? You know, I got a whole list of my own of a ton of movies, classic films, because I'm always watching the new stuff. I've been doing that for 15 years, always watching the new stuff. It is hard for me to take time to go back and watch some of the classics. I probably watch maybe, 10 a year. Maybe more, it'll be more now because we're in this coronavirus period of time, but there's still so much new stuff coming. So I watched Schindler's List. It's very good. It is very good. 1993, Steven Spielberg released the same year he did Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park came out first, then Schindler's List. Obviously won the Best Picture Academy Award. Steven Spielberg wins Best Director. Liam Neeson nominated for lead actor. Didn't win. He lost to Tom Hanks for Philadelphia. But Liam Neeson is very good. It's a good performance. It builds as the movie goes on towards that final scene before the real final scene, which is heartbreaking. Here's what surprised me about Schindler's List. This is I knew the subject matter going in. I knew obviously what the story was about. If a director were to do this film today, they would try to bring in the positive upswing and the uplift much sooner than what Steven Spielberg does. Steven Spielberg waits until about, out of that 3 hours, maybe 45 minutes to go, maybe even less than that, to finally start the sort of semi-uplift upswing. And I like the fact that Steven Spielberg waits quite a while for that to happen, because there is so much leading up to that. There really is. Sadness, violence, negativity. There is so much leading up to that. And so when we finally get there, we do feel like it is time for that to happen. The ending of Schindler's List, if you're watching this, most of you have probably seen Schindler's List. The true final scene, in color, is quite something. And I can only imagine what it was like in 1993, 5 years before my birth, when people saw this film in theaters for the first time, and it just shocked people. I mean, for a filmmaker to go from a narrative story to almost a documentary and blend the two together, because you have Ben Kingsley, who I think gives the best performance in the film and is my favorite character and the most meaningful character. That is a true, if you're talking supporting character performance in a movie, that to me is like the quintessential supporting character performance. To have his character to have him walk with the relatives of the real characters, and to have that blend happen at the end in color. What a moment. And I'm sure it just, stunned people. Absolutely stunned people. There was a showing of it in high school. I had to walk out. It was very upsetting, says DJ Rachopo. Well, yeah, it's a tough movie. Schindler's List is a tough film. But wow, it is a powerful film. Ralph Fiennes, very good. Tough role. Tough character. The violence, it is unsettling. It is shocking in parts. But what Steven Spielberg does is, and what impresses me the most about this film, is how he was able to organize everything. I mean, look at all the extras. There are so many people. There are so many extras, the workers, and all the mothers and the children, and so many people. Just, I don't know how you organize a film like that. You put it all together as masterfully as he does. This is a great film. I have to think about where I would rank it among my favorite Steven Spielberg movies. It certainly is right up there. Lincoln has a lot of meaning to me. Obviously, Jaws and Raiders and Jurassic Park, some of his lighter classics in comparison to this. But it is quite a film. And the black and white has a purpose and intention. Certainly the little moments of color that we see, the girl in the red dress is a key element to that. Schindler's List, watched it for the very first time last night. During this time I've gone back and been able to watch a few classic movies, but again, it's difficult when you're doing all the new stuff. to take that time. But I had 3 hours and 15 minutes last night and was able to devote to Schindler's List. Is it one of your favorite Steven Spielberg movies? What's your favorite Steven Spielberg movie? Let me know right here, right now, because I can read the comments here on LCJ Live. Let me know what your favorite Spielberg movie is. Is it Schindler's List? Is it Jurassic Park? Is it Jaws? I remember watching the Spielberg documentary a couple years ago that HBO did, which was really well done. And I remember sort of the care that was put into the segments that devoted to Schindler's List. But yeah, it's a very, very good film. What's up, Triple Z87? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. It is the Mother's Day edition. In addition to Scoob being out this week, we got a lot in the world of TV. And we have a lot in the world of movies as well. Al Capone, new movie, Tom Hardy's film. It's supposed to be on VOD Tuesday. Haven't heard a lot about it, to be quite honest. But we'll see how that does. Watched a movie the other night called The Painter and the Thief. This one comes out on the 22nd. It is a documentary, though you don't feel like it's a documentary when you're watching it. It's about a guy. He steals a painting. The painter wants to paint the guy. And then a relationship forms. You think it's like a novel or a narrative film or something, and it's a documentary. It is an out-of-body experience watching this movie. The Painter and the Thief. 22nd. I'll have more of my thoughts on it coming soon. More of my thoughts on The Painter and the Thief. Now, when it comes to TV this week, there's some interesting stuff. Hollywood Game Night's doing an at-home edition. The Gary Marshall special is Tuesday on ABC. There are supposed to be, this week, the lineups for the network TV schedules for the fall. I guess are supposed to be announced this week. I'll give you the latest info if and when that information comes out. But obviously the NFL had to announce their fall schedule for football, their tentative fall football schedule, before the networks can decide, all right, exactly where things are going to go on what nights. So they did that. Normally this week, if we were in a normal life, normal world, you'd have your fall TV schedules and the upfront presentations in New York. But I don't know exactly if the networks are going to still do that, what they're going to do, how they're going to adjust things. But I thought about this the other night. Here's what, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox are facing when it comes to the fall TV schedule. They have very few shows that have been, already in the can. Most of their shows require studios and lights and cameras and people. And so how are they going to deal with all this now? This fall, you can run football, you can run animated holiday specials around Christmas time, election night coverage takes care of it Tuesday, but you're going to have to fill in all those other days with things. And so the networks are deciding right now, what do we do? How do we do our fall schedule, and what do we do? So maybe it'll take them a little longer. If I were them, I'd wait as long as possible before announcing the network fall schedules, because you don't know what things are going to be like in 4 months. Are you going to be able to film stuff even at the end of August to get it on in September? But we'll see if they come out with that information. I'll let you know on Twitter at LCJ Reviews and all across social media what's going on with the network fall TV schedules. It's usually a busy time and a big time for television. So we'll see if that happens. I'm looking forward to what new shows are coming, though they may not be coming until that ball drops at least to go into 2021 at this point. But look, today is May 10th. We're almost a third of the way through May already. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying positive. I hope you're staying well, keeping yourself busy, watching things. All these new one-off specials. Look at the Gary Marshall special Tuesday. Look at the soap opera special coming on the 19th. Look at the Taylor Swift concert coming next Sunday, May 17th on ABC. The Penn and Teller special on the 18th. There are so many one-offs happening right now in addition to the regular shows that the networks, I think, are just going to keep coming up with these ideas. They're going to keep coming up with at-home one-offs or things in the can to bring out over the summer. And there's some more great stuff on the way. 3 weeks from tonight, May 31, Quiz starts on AMC. It's the 3-part Millionaire miniseries. It's fantastic. I watched it several weeks ago, all 3 parts. May 31, 10 o'clock. The game shows are back pretty soon on ABC and some other things in addition to the continuation of Millionaire. So there's a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot to look forward to for families. With Scoob out this Friday on VOD, and with Artemis Fowl on June 12th. Look at what ABC's doing. They're putting Wonderful World of Disney back in some Disney family movies like Moana and Up and Big Hero 6 and Thor the Dark World, a little more adult. But those are coming in a couple weeks. CBS's Sunday Night Films. Last week, more than 5 million people watched a 30-year-old film on CBS, being Raiders of the Lost Ark. They're going to continue that. Forrest Gump, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Titanic are on the way for the rest of May on CBS on Sunday nights. So it's going to keep getting unpredictable, but it's going to keep getting interesting to see what is coming on TV, what will be filling the nights of programming, and what's coming in the world of movies. You know, now, on June 12, we have Artemis Fowl, The King of Staten Island, which is Judd Apatow's movie with Pete Davidson, and Spike Lee's movie, Defy Bloods, which will be on Netflix. We got 3 big movies coming out on June 12. It's like the old days. It's like the days when 3 movies used to come out in theaters on the same day. So June 12, look forward to that because there's a lot to come with that. I'm going to watch a film with Elizabeth Moss called Shirley that's out June 5. High Note with Tracy Ellis Ross and Ice Cube, Dakota Johnson, and more. It's coming out on May 29. The Lovebirds is on Netflix May 22. There are a lot of movies on the way, and there will continue to be. That Charlize Theron action movie, Old Guard, Netflix just announced that's coming July 10, I believe. So there's a lot to look forward to, and we'll see if the theaters get open in time for Tenet on July 17. To me, that's the next time I visit an indoor movie theaters to see Tenet on July 17, if that happens. That would be the next time. Until then, for the next 2 months and a week, going to be watching movies and shows at home, just like hopefully you will be as well. Staying safe, staying healthy, and staying positive through all of this. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Hope Scoob is fun. Hope you enjoy it this weekend coming up with your families. Hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. Again, watch my Charlie Brown Good Grief It's Mother's Day video. Check it out. Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson, Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Facebook Lights Camera Jackson, Snapchat at LCJ Reviews, and the website is lights-camera-jackson.com. I'll have stuff on Central Park, which is the new Apple TV animated series coming at you at the end of the week. And more coming soon for you. So keep it right to all things LCJ because there's a lot more on the way. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Happy Mother's Day. Stay well. Enjoy the week. And I'll see you back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for LCJ Live. Maybe we'll talk about fall TV schedules. We'll see what happens. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.